I had prepared because when I read the topic, it appeared to be a very academic topic. But after hearing Mr. Ahmad Kurt, first of all, I'm grateful to him. It is very important. It is very important for us to know what the bar and what the people think about us. Ladies and gentlemen, let me assure Mr. Ahmad Kurt that no judge who is independent can ever make an excuse that he can be pressurized or influenced. Any such excuse, I'm afraid, is a violation of the oath. And the oath that we take, we swear in the name of Allah. Mr. Ahmad Kurt, what he said, and unfortunately it reminded me of an incident, and that would probably highlight the dilemma, not just of the judiciary, but of the other institutions as well. It was 26th of January 2000, and I was a lawyer, and I wasn't enrolled as a lawyer of the Supreme Court. I took up the newspaper in the morning, and it said that the judges will be administered oath under PCA. I was quite shocked. And my driver had not come. I took the car and went to the Supreme Court. There was an eerie silence there. I kept asking people where were the judges. And they took me to a foyer. And in the middle of the foyer was a gentleman by the name of Buddha Khan, who was the additional registrar. And I had a handwritten petition. From a corridor, I heard loud laughters, and then judges came towards me, and I was in the middle of the foyer. And they asked me, "Why are you there?" I said, "Your Lordships, I have a grievance. You have already taken an oath, and you cannot take another oath. It will be violation of the earlier oath." They were so excited they didn't listen to me, and they ran towards the cars. Mr. Buddha Khan came back and he asked me, "What have you done?" I said, "They were some other judges who weren't here." So they said, "They are in such and such chambers." Nobody stopped me. I went to that chamber. Now I take a pause. How many in this audience can tell me the names of those 5 honorable judges who had refused to take oath on the 26th of January 2000? Anyone who can raise the hand and say who those judges were? None in the audience. This is what is shocking. I went to the chamber of Justice Nasir Aslam Zahid, who is alive. And I sent in the petition. The person came back and he said, they've asked me to inform you to give it in the office of the registrar. I requested for a hearing. And I was given an audience. And 5 most honorable judges, 2 of whom would have been the Chief Justices of Pakistan, Justice Wajiuddin Ahmad and late Justice Kamal Mansoor Alam. Justice Khalilur Rahman was also there, and Justice late Mamoon Qazi. They asked me, young man, what do you want? I said, your lordships, I have a grievance. Before the petition is heard, I want a restraining order. It was my right to have taken that petition. But 7 years after that, I'll again give it a pause. I'm sorry, Mr. Ali Ahmed Court. You started this, so I thought I'll change my speech. When I came down, there was again an eerie silence. The authoritarian rule was at its peak. There was only 2 lawyers in the bar room when I came out, and I wouldn't like to name them. I sat in the car, went to my office. I thought the civil society will come out. I thought that there will be resistance. I request you to take up the newspapers of 27th of January 2000. There was usual business. Now I go back to 2007. There was a historic lawyers movement. It wasn't a movement for the restoration of judges. It was a struggle which symbolizes the topic. The civil society and people of this country dreamt of a judiciary that would be independent, impartial, protect the human rights, and strengthen democracy. That was the historic movement led by the lawyers. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2007, Justice Wajiuddin Ahmad was with me in that movement, and he said probably history would have been different if we had entertained your petition. I go back to 1954. Soon after the independence was rooted in democracy. Soon after the independence, the first test of the judiciary came up before it. It was Tamizuddin Khan case. And it came before the Sindh Chief Court. How many in the audience knows the names of those honorable judges who had rendered that first landmark judgment? How many can anyone raise the hands? It was, again, you see, nobody knows. Nobody knows. The civil society does not know. That was the first test, and the judiciary should be proud of that. The bench was led by the Chief Justice, Justice George Constantine, and the other honorable judges were Justice Bachel, Justice Bakhsh, and Justice Viliani. Thank you, Mr. Ali Ahmed Kurd. You have changed the theme of this conference. That honorable court rendered that landmark judgment. Had it not been deplorably reversed by the federal court led by Justice Munir, the future of this country would have been very different. That is from where democracy was derailed. Democracy was destroyed. And I, as the Chief Justice, cannot blame anyone. And from there on, it was the Doso case, then the other case, Mohtarma Nusrat Bhutto's case, then Zafar Ali Shah case. All those judgments are part of history now. We can't erase them from the history. These judgments were responsible for making and enabling those that have been referred to by Mr. Ali Ahmed Kurd to exercise their power. What can be more regrettable for an institution that an elected Prime Minister, an honorable judge of that bench, conceded that he was hanged because there was pressure. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ali Ahmed Kurd, yes, as a judicial organ of the state, we must not bury our head in the sand. We can't refuse to accept our mistakes. We have changed the course of history of this country. The authoritarian rules, half of the life of Pakistan's existence is based on authoritarian rules. Regressive governments have destroyed fundamental rights and suppressed freedoms. But this struggle cannot be taken up by the judiciary on its own. The other players are equally important. It reminds me of the Bill of Rights of the Massachusetts Constitution of 1780. And in that, John Adams had identified the two most important rights: the right to have access to an independent court and free press. But when I say free press, it has to be an independent free press and media. not controlled by proprietors having vested interests. This is the advantage of speaking the truth, Ahmad, that you have at least started the dialogue. Yes, we all are responsible. We all are responsible, but the buck stops at us, we the judicial organ. Every organ, whether it's the media, whether it's the civil society, whether it's the bars, every one of us have to look inwards. If there is no free media, free speech, there wouldn't be any independence of judiciary. They are interdependent. But the media has to be responsible. But I'm not a pessimist. I'm an optimist. I can assure this gathering on behalf of the Islamabad High Court that we have the resolve not to repeat our mistakes, not to bury our heads in the sand. It is our duty and our responsibility that we earn the respect and confidence of the people who are the real stakeholders of this institution. I hope the others would follow suit. There are many other things that I could say, but again, thank you, Mr. Ali Ahmed Kurt, for letting me speak the truth. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Justice Minallah, for sharing your heart with the audience and the honorable guest. Now